Later here on BBC One, cheer on the challengers hoping for an epic win at 5:30. Now though, win or lose, it's final score.
Relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. The latest score is Wimbledon through to the
John Terry's tears we all remember. It was a crucial week.
Hello and welcome to Final Score. We've been having a lovely afternoon so far. Plenty of incidents, a bit of controversy, and that's just in the studio. Garth, Crooks and Matt Holland have been engrossed by the action. They'll have their say in just a moment. But I can tell you the lunchtime kickoff was a cracker at Ewood Park. Arsenal 3 o'clock kickoffs. At the moment, it's Aston Villa 1, Newcastle 1. Villa led through their longest-serving player, Gabby, only for Leon Best to equalise from close range at the start of the second half. It's Blackburn 4, you know about that one, Arsenal 3, a result from lunchtime. Bolton 1, Norwich 2. The Canaries had led 2-0, but a Petrov penalty, the fifth conceded by Norwich in 5 games, has set this up for a grandstand finish. Everton 1, Wigan 1. Franco Di Santo firing the visitors ahead. The Toffees skipper Phil Jagielka has hauled his side level. Swansea 3, West Brom 0. It took 365 minutes for Swansea's first Premier League goal. A Scott Sinclair penalty, but 2 more have swiftly followed. And City are very much in charge. Wolves 0, QPR 2. Skipper Joey Barton opening the scoring for the visitors, who'd only scored once prior to today in the Premier League. Let's head to our reporters around the grounds. Let's go to the Liberty Stadium first. 3-0 the scoreline, Mark Webber, but West Brom trying to get back into this.
Indeed, in a week where the Swansea Valley's been in the news for sad reasons with the death of 4 miners, the city's football team doing their best as much as you can, really, to lift the spirits of this community. Their first goal in the Premier League came from a spot kick. Scott Sinclair converted. He had a head in the second as well. He headed the ball to Leroy Lita on the back post, who headed the ball in at 2-0. The home side was straight out of the traps at the restart. Nathan Dyer seeing off a West Brom defender to knock in the third. The visitors have had the ball in the net, but sub Chris Brunt was denied by offside. They've also been denied twice, to be fair, by fine stretch saves by Vorm, robbing sub Dorrans and Long of glory. West Brom now on the attack, trying to get that goal that will bring them back into this. But at the moment, it's Swansea City 3, West Bromwich Albion 0.
All the promoted sides ahead at the moment, including QPR at Molineux. Andrew James can tell us the story there.
Well, they've been doing very well indeed, but for Wolves at least, Gabby, it looks like successive back-to-back 2-0 home defeats against sides from the capital, having lost here, of course, to Tottenham last week. QPR on Monday night did everything but score against Newcastle United, but within 10 minutes of this one, they were 2-0 up. Some dreadful Wolves defending, to be fair, but well-taken goals from Joey Barton and also Alejandro Forlan taking opportunities of very slack defending indeed. Wolves indeed could have been 1-0 up before those goals. A great save from Hennessy to deny Sean Derry. Wolves changed things round at half-time. They made a couple of pre-match changes to their lineup, but they ended up substituting George Elokobi, one of those players who'd been brought in today. He had a torrid time at left-back, and although they've made those substitutions now, all 3 have been made by Wolves, they still look no more likely to find the net. It's Wolves 0, QPR 2.
Let's get the story from the Reebok Stadium. Norwich were 2-0 up, but Bolton getting back into it. Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, it looks as though Bolton are determined to try and grab that lifeline that they got by the penalty given midway through this half. David Ngog foul, Martin Petrov putting away the spot kick, the 5th penalty, as you mentioned, that Norwich have conceded this season. And the Canaries, they seemed in complete control at the break. There were 2 goals to the good through Pilkington and Johnson. Add to that Ivan Klasnic, Bolton's top scorer, had been sent off for apparent use of the head. They did seem in complete control, but now it's Bolton who are really putting their foot down. Chris Eagles attacking just now down the right-hand side. One of 2 changes that Owen Coyle made at the break, along with David and Ngog. And it's Bolton, despite the fact they're down a man, who are attacking.
Let's go to Villa Park. It's 1 apiece. Ivan Gaskell is watching with a very grumbly tummy. Ignore your hunger pangs, Ivan, and tell us who's going to win this one.
Yes, nothing to eat. It's a hard life on the road, but when the chips are down here, who will emerge on top? Well, Villa started well. Agbon Lahore capitalising on some Villa early brightness in this one. Let's just pause as and Zogbia with a rare attack forward into the Newcastle penalty area just fails to play that final ball across the face of goal. But Agbon Lahore poached the opener inside the quarter hour here. Credit to Newcastle, though, their response was impressive. Given's goal under increasing pressure, finally yielding. After an hour or so, Newcastle's equaliser, well, living up to his name, Leon Best, poaching, albeit on the rebound from 2 yards out. I could have scored that one. One apiece. If I were a betting man, I might just risk 20 pence on Newcastle going on to win it from here.
Ivan, thank you. Let's go to Goodison Park. One apiece there. Damien Johnson can tell us if either of these two are likely to grab all the spoils.
Well, I'd love to tell you that the game was coming nicely to the boil, Gabby, but it's been poor in the second half. Wigan led through Franco Di Santo, a deflected effort in the first half, which was a chance for Everton, but cleared by Wigan. Yeah, Franco Di Santo's deflected effort put them ahead. Phil Jagielka equalised first to the rebound after Cahill hit the bar. I have to tell you, Louis Saha tweeted his disappointment at not being included in the matchday squad. Everton, I guess, could have done with him today, to be honest. It's 1-1.
Does seem a strange omission, but we'll leave that to one side for a moment because undoubtedly the story of the day, and there are some good ones, but really the lunchtime kickoff at Ewood Park. A manager going into that, Steve Keane, with huge pressure, the bookies' favourite to lose his job first, and sees his side win 4-3 with some really sloppy Arsenal defending.
And a fan's protest to boot before the game. And it seemed to me as though that protest seemed to galvanise the team because they started really well, weren't afraid of Arsenal, although Arsenal really played it around themselves, around Blackburn. And at the end of the day, I mean, Michael perhaps talk about the game and some of the detail, but I thought overall that the Blackburn Rovers fans owe Steve Keane an apology because, you know, he did the business.
Yeah. His team did the business.
His team played for him.
His team did the business. I thought Arsenal first half were the better side. They deservedly were ahead 2-1. I thought they played, you know, really well, passed it around. But as has so often been the case, their Achilles heel has been defensively, set pieces, corners. 2 of the goals again coming from that area. You know, Christopher Samba, the centre half of Blackburn, he's being marked by Koscielny now. For me, Mertesacker at 6'6" should be marking Christopher Samba. So that's all wrong. So just set pieces and long balls forward has been Arsenal's Achilles heel
for a long time.
And the really good news story, because of what's gone on around the area in South Wales, the tragic deaths of the 4 miners this week, is that Swansea not only have got themselves off to, you know, a goal-scoring start, first goal in the Premier League, but they're also looking like they're going to take 3 points as well, and deservedly so.
Absolutely.
Been by far the better side, particularly first half. Again, you know, you talk about style of play. Swansea, results haven't been coming their way, but they stick to their principles. They get the ball down, they play through midfield, and they've scored some terrific goals and have been by far the better side.
I think Sinclair's been outstanding. He looks like a player who's not just enjoying the Premier League, he looks like he can step up. Of course, he's been there before with a Premier League club, but now he's coming into his own and he looks like, for the first time, a Premier League player.
OK, we'll leave those there for the moment. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about Norwich as well, holding on at the moment, 2-1, of course, at the Reebok. But first of all, we're going to go to the King Power Stadium. Brighton were the championship leaders this morning. It's not going to end that way if things stay as they are right now, Steve Lee.
Absolutely right. Leicester City 1, Brighton 0. Gus Poyet could be tasting defeat for the first time this season, but Brighton aren't giving this one up without a fight. They trail to a debut-headed goal from Leicester's Japanese midfielder, Yuki Abe. Superbly created by Vassell on the left. Craig McHale-Smith has spooned as simplest of chances over for Brighton. Ryan Harley's also gone close, but it's Leicester 1, Brighton 0. We've got a bit of we've got a sending off here. We have a sending off, and I think it is Marcus Painter. I will check that in a second. Now there's the bench, the Brighton bench are now talking to their men, and yes, it does look like Painter's been sent off. Red card.
OK, we'll get more on that one in a moment, but let's go to Selhurst Park. Jonathan Ledyard had very little to talk about for a very long time, and then Middlesbrough went into the lead, could go top tonight, and now they're down to 10 men.
Yes, we have had a sending off. Joe Bennett was sent off, second bookable offence for trying to bring down a very lively substitute that Crystal Palace have brought on, Wilfred Zaha. Rather questionable decision, not so much the fact that the free kick was awarded, more the fact that Crystal Palace were halted as they were raiding in on goal and could well have got an equaliser because Middlesbrough's defence was everywhere. As it was, the referee, Mr Sutton, decided to stop the play and we had Joe Bennett sent off. But earlier, Emnes, as you say, scored his 8th goal in 9 matches, firing in off the bounce against Speroni. And the way they're going, it's not a distinguished game still by any means. It's still raining, but Middlesbrough heading for the top of the Championship, leading by a 1-0 with something like 11 minutes to go.
And there's been a sending off at the KC Stadium as well. Steve Sutton can tell us the story there.
Yes, it came just before the 80-minute mark. Luke Varney seeing red, and I think it was a straight red as well, Gabby. I can't remember him getting a yellow. It looked as if he'd shown his studs on a stamping tackle on James Chester, the Hull City number 5. Referee flashing the red card. Off he goes. Hull City still leading 1-0.
Let's go to Scotland. You can see the goal there. Charlton have gone back into the lead. Neil Turner.
Danny Hollands, who got the first goal for the Londoners, he's made it 3-2. A corner on the right from Wagstaff. Up jumped Hollands, out jumping his marker, heading it down and giving Keane no chance at all. 10 minutes of the game remaining. Rochdale 2, Charlton 3.
Stadium and see what's going on, because Mark Webber, there looks to be a serious injury there. There's a fair bit of stoppage time going on.
Swansea City's Neil Taylor on a stretcher in his own area with an oxygen mask on and a neck brace. He's been there for 7 minutes now. He clashed with Peter Odemwingie in the box. Odemwingie came straight into his back. I don't know whether it was malicious or not. I wouldn't really say it was, but it was a very serious and strong challenge. And Neil Taylor has been down ever since. Odemwingie took a bit of a knock, but he's waiting on the sidelines to come back on. But at the moment, we've got 3 paramedics around Taylor at the moment. They're just showing a replay of the incident on the screen in a minute, I think. Oh, no, they're actually showing some old goals. But he is still there being treated. He's been there for about 4 or 5 minutes now, still on the stretcher, and we're waiting for him to be moved off the field of play before anything happened. But it looked a pretty intense knock in the back from Odemwingie, and I'm afraid this does not look good for Swansea.
Thank you, Mark. Let's go up to the SPL, to Fir Park in particular. Brian McLaughlin, there's been another goal since the last time we spoke.
There certainly has, Gabby. It's now Motherwell 0, St Johnstone 2. The second goal coming from Francisco Sandaza. A shocker, though, for the home defence. Slack pass across his own 18-yard line by Stevie Hamill. Intercepted by Sandaza, who rounded the keeper to score with his opening goal. A bit of fortune about that one. Tim Clancy, an own goal, though the header from Jamie Adams was on target, was deflected beyond his own goalkeeper by Clancy. St Johnstone very much on top, and a chance for a third here for Sandaza, and it's saved by the keeper, and it's in to the back of the net by Liam Craig. St Johnstone, what a terrific run of form they're on this season, yet to concede a goal in the SPL, and they're going to win this match here at Fir Park this afternoon. It's now Motherwell 0, St Johnstone 3.
And of course, they were beaten, weren't they, Motherwell, 4-0 by Celtic last week, having a disappointing 7 days or so. Let's go to Pittodrie. Ian Turner, a comeback from the home side.
Yeah, it's been a great comeback from Craig Bown's side. They were unfortunate to find themselves 2 goals down after Heffernan and Shields found the net for Kilmarnock, but Considine and Maweni got them back into it. Now the Dons have the bit between their teeth, and they look the side more likely to claim all 3 points with 6 minutes left. Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 2.
Well, the lunchtime kickoff was at Ewood Park. Arsenal, the visitors. Let's get the reaction there from the managers.
When you have so many chances in the game, and on top of that you score 2 own goals, it's nearly unbelievable to understand. But we have to take it on the chin and think it was not all negative, despite the bad result, and continue to work on it at the moment. Defensively, we are fragile because the confidence has gone with what happened at Old Trafford, but overall we created enough chances to win the game, and at the end of the day we scored 6 goals and we lost the game.
We did deserve it. I think, last couple of weeks we've not managed to hang on to a lead. I thought the performance at Fulham was excellent. I thought the performance here, like you say, against Everton was good, but we didn't get what that deserved. I think today we show what we're all about. We've got character, we've got team spirit, determination. I think the type of service that we put in and the relentless pressure that we put on Arsenal was all there in abundance, so I'm absolutely delighted for the players.
The third goal was offside, and it looked like it was a penalty on Walcott, yes, from the keeper.
But individual decisions at the moment aren't as big as other problems you have regarding this lack of confidence at this stage.
I agree with you. We'll not focus on individual decisions. We want to focus on what makes us stronger, and football is like that. When you're 90% there, you miss the 10%, you don't win. And we have to gain this 10% back, because potentially the side is huge.
Let's go to Goodison Park. There's been a goal, Damien Johnson.
It's gone to Everton and it's gone to the substitute, Apostolos Velios. A right-wing cross from Tony Hibbert. Up went Velios in the area. Firm header past Al Habsi. In response, Wigan have just hit the bar. They've got a corner now. It's boiling up here. 2-1 Everton.
And a goal at Molineux, Andrew James.
It's all over now. It's Wolves 0, QPR 3. Third goal for Rangers, scored by DJ Campbell, who had the simplest of tap-in opportunities from 5 yards out. But the real work had been done by Armand Traore, who really has been excellent in the left-back position for QPR today. Got away down the far side, pulled the ball back. Nothing that Hennessy could do in the Wolves' goal to cut it out. And a simple tap-in in front of a couple of thousand travelling Rangers fans for DJ Campbell. It's Wolves 0, QPR 3, Gabby.
Thank you. It's already gone through the video printer. Leeds have got a second. Are they going to hang on for the win? Adam Pope.
And with 10 men, Ross McCormack, the 5th goal in 5 league games on the bounce for the Scot, getting on the end of a double substitution combination. Lee Bromby's long throw, flicked on by Becker, McCormack poking home after Nicky Maynard had seen his penalty saved after Patrick Kisnorbo had been the 4th player this season to be sent off for Leeds, who lead with 10 men, 2-1.
And a sending off to tell you about at Stadium MK. Robin Bailey can do that for us.
Yes, Gary McKenzie been sent off for MK Dons. He's head-butted Alan Lee, and the referee gave a penalty immediately. And would you believe Huddersfield's Lee Novak missed it after all those goals he's got this year? 7 so far. He missed it. Brilliant save from David Martin. Still 1-1 here.
Let's talk a little bit about DJ Campbell's goal. We were talking ahead of the matches today about QPR, the acquisitions that Neil Warnock has made and which would be the most prolific for him. And everybody seemed to be agreeing that Sean Wright-Phillips was a good signing, but Barton and Campbell both on the score sheet today. It's looking like it's gelling already for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people suddenly feel a little bit optimistic about QPR all of a sudden. Today, well worthy of the victory. Wolves 2 down within 15 minutes at home. Game's practically over. QPR have dominated the whole game for me. And Wolves at no stage could cope with the 3 up front. QPR played with Sean Wright-Phillips up front, Bothroyd and Tarabt. Tarabt came off later in the second half, but they couldn't cope with that 3 front attack.
No, I mean, QPR have been very impressive today. They were very good against Newcastle on Monday. Neil Warnock knew that he needed additions to his squad, and he's brought in Premier League experience. You know, Anton Ferdinand, Joey Barton, Luke Young at right back, Sean Wright-Phillips, people who know the division as well. So, and today they've just outclassed Wolves. Wolves have defensively been all over the show.
Let's see how DJ Campbell's old side Blackpool are getting on this afternoon, playing Cardiff at Bloomfield Road. James Mason's there for us.
Yeah, it's still 1-1, Gabby, only moments to go, and they could do with DJ Campbell, but they don't need him. They've got Kevin Phillips, Blackpool, of course, the evergreen striker, scoring his 5th goal of the season. A wonderful strike as well, bringing Blackpool level at the moment. Cardiff City did take the lead just after the restart. Don Cowie heading past Matt Gilks. We've only got 3 minutes of time added on. It could go either way, but I suspect it will be a draw. Blackpool 1, Cardiff City 1.
Peterborough were 2-0 up. Burnley got one back just before the break. But Mark Bishop, does it look like the home side are going to take the spoils today?
It does indeed, Gabby. Peterborough 2, Burnley 1. Peterborough, they haven't got a point or a goal since that demolition of Ipswich. 7-1 last month, but they're cruising. 2 terrific goals by full debut boy Emile Sinclair. It's going to be 3 points, I think, for the Posh. They lead 2-1.
Let's get an update from the Majeski Stadium. Tony Husband, Reading look likely to take 3 points today.
Yes, they will. A minute to go, Gabby. 2 sides desperately short of confidence heading into this one. But on this evidence of this afternoon, quite a gulf between Reading in 23rd and Doncaster, who started the day bottom. Simon Church gifted an opener by Neil Sullivan to break Reading's recent goal drought. And then substitute Adam Lafondra, a recent signing from Rotherham, with his first goal for Reading. Both of these in the second half. That was a well-directed header as well. Doncaster have rarely threatened James Coppinger's long-range shots. Both wide, their only real efforts.
Newcastle United are squandering chances at the moment. Aston Villa are just hanging on, absorbing loads of pressure. We'll head to Villa Park soon and get an update there from Ivan. But let's go to Oakwell now. And Alan Biggs there for us. Watford going for the win.
Watford really are going to be very fortunate to get a draw here. There's a late corner for Barnsley. They've done everything but win this match. They forced another corner from this, and Watford absolutely on the ropes, hanging on, despite Marvin Sordell from close range putting them in front in the first half. Barnsley deservedly equalising through Andy Gray's header in the second half, playing some superb football, still to win at home this season. This run can't go on this performance. Watford still holding out, 1-1.
Alan, thank you. Let's go to Villa Park. Ivan Gaskell, they must have heard you'd wagered 20 pence on them, Newcastle, throwing everything at it.
Absolutely. We're, a minute and a half into added time here. Newcastle fans can often be heard singing, there's only one Amiobi. In fact, there are two, and they're both on the pitch. Sammy Amiobi's made quite an impact. He actually had the ball in the Villa net. Audacious finish, but disallowed. Two fantastic saves from Shay Given, denied Newcastle all 3 points minutes ago. Cabaye on both occasions with terrific volleys, equalled by Villa's excellent keeper. Cabaye, in fact, could have snatched the points for Newcastle just a moment ago, but he snatched at a chance and lifted over the bar. It looks like finishing all square now.
Thank you, Ivan. Let's go to Goodison Park. Are Everton going to hang on for their first win at home this season? Damien Johnson.
Well, it looks like it, but we've got a break in play for what looks like a bad injury to Hugo Rodallega, the Wigan striker. He went in for a challenge with the Everton substitute, Denis Strakwalasi, the Argentinian who's just arrived this season, and his leg seemed to sort of buckle underneath him. I don't think there's anything particularly malicious about the tackle, but Rodallega in a lot of pain. His leg is in a leg brace. He's about to be carried off. It's 2-1 Everton.
At Fir Park, Brian McLaughlin, a big win for St Johnstone.
Huge win, Gabby. Motherwell nil, St Johnstone 3. Motherwell miss a chance to go joint top of the SPL. A Tim Clancy own goal gave Saints a half-time lead, but clinical finishes by Sandaza and Craig ensured that Saints returned to Perth with all 3 points. Full time for Park. Motherwell nil, St Johnstone 3.
Let's go to Molineux now. Andrew James. Joey Barton in a spot of bother.
He's been a bit of a silly boy, Gabby, if I'm being totally honest. His performance today has been excellent, but a few minutes ago, Joey Barton thought he should have had a free kick in front of the Wolves fans, stayed on the ground after play continued and was making the 3-0 gestures to the fans. And now, back in play at the other end of the pitch, there's been an injury to a player, and Stephen Hunt, who's rarely far from these moments, and Joey Barton have been trying to get at each other with other players, keeping them apart. It's a shame because Barton's performance in scoring the goal and his overall performance as captain has been superb. In fact, Gabby, I'll briefly wrap up the game for you because the final whistle's gone. Barton, of course, with the opening goal inside 5 minutes. Forlan with a second to make it to 2-0 to keep.
That match there last season when he had a spot of bother, Joey Barton as well.
He just said, I'll show you my Banksy in the tunnel. I think that's what he says.
I'm not sure he said that. It may well have been a highbrow discussion about art. It's all over at Villa Park, and it's one apiece. You've lost your 20 pence, Ivan.
Yes, but I can live with that, I think, only just on BBC expenses. A day that started well for Aston Villa and ended with them rather hanging on. Agbon Lahore opening the scoring inside a quarter of an hour. It only spurred, though, Newcastle on. Leon Best's equaliser, the least they deserved on the hour. But for Shay Given's excellence in goal, Newcastle might have snatched it, though they didn't. 1-1.
And it's all over at the Reebok Stadium. Another clash of Glaswegian managers, and it's the away side, Norwich, Paul Lambert's men, who've walked away with 3 points. Richard Aston.
Yes, absolutely, Gabby. The Norwich players are just going towards the Norwich fans to my right-hand side. The 220 or so miles back to Norwich will fly by for the Canaries travelling support who saw their side pick up their first 3 points of the season. Poor defending from Bolton helped them. Anthony Pilkington scrambling in the first. Bradley Johnson thumping in a header from a corner for the second. Bolton improved after the break and grabbed a lifeline from the spot. Martin Petrov slotting home with David and Go lively. They did make a good fist of it, but for Bolton it's a record 5th straight home defeat in the top flight. For the visitors, their first win in 33 Premier League matches on the road, thanks to a terrific stoppage time save from John Ruddy, tipping away David and Go's goal-bound header.
And the first win at Bolton for Norwich since 1982. Let's go to Elland Road. It's full time. Leeds have got the win, and it's been a game packed with incident, Adam Pope.
Well, indeed, back-to-back wins for Leeds. They didn't play well, but they've won the game with 10 men. They took an early lead through Adam Clayton. Neil Kilkenny on his return to Elland Road equalised with a curling shot. Before the real incident of the game, a 65th missed penalty from Nicky Maynard after he was fouled by Kisnorbo. Kisnorbo sent off with the straight red, and then right at the death with the 10 men, big throw in from Bromley, flick on from Becchio, McCormack scoring his 7th of the season. Leeds 2, Bristol City 1.
All over at Bloomfield Road, James Mason.
Yes, Blackpool won, Cardiff City won. A fruitless first half, but the visitors took the lead within minutes of the second. Don Cowie heading past Matt Gilks to give the visitors a deserved lead, but they didn't lead for long. A wonderful strike from Kevin Phillips, raising the roof and the Seasiders' expectations. It was a heated finish. Cardiff could have had a penalty, but it ended Blackpool 1, Cardiff City 1.
And that's the exact score, and it finished at Oakwell as well. Alan Biggs.
Yes, between Barnsley and Watford, Barnsley the more deserving side. They played some, well, it was almost reminiscent of the days when the chant was they played more like Brazil, but they couldn't get the win. Still without a win at home. Andy Gray's header equalising from Marvin Sordell. Good week though for Sean Dyche, Watford's manager, new young boss. First win last week, fortunate point today.
And all over at the King Power Stadium, Steve Lees. Watch this one.
Yes, Leicester City 1, Brighton 0. Brighton's proud unbeaten run of the Championship this season is finally over. They had Marcus Painter sent off late on as a solitary debut goal from Leicester City's Japanese newcomer Yuki Abe settled this match. Great cross from Vassell. That came just after half-time, after Leicester had dominated the first half. Brighton went down with a bit of a scrap though. Mikhail Smith inexplicably wasting the chance of the match shortly afterwards. Harley went close as Leicester defended deeply, but Painter's second yellow for deliberate handball just saw Leicester squeeze past the post. They ended Southampton's unbeaten run here a few weeks back. They've done the same to Brighton. Leicester 1, Brighton 0.
Let's go to Selhurst Park. Jonathan Ledyard has just seen Middlesbrough create a new club record of 6 away wins on the bounce.
And they have gone top of the Championship. It was hardly an example of the beautiful game in largely ugly conditions because of the rain, but who's complaining if you're a Middlesbrough fan? Forgettable first half, better in the second when Marvin Enmes scored his 8th goal in 9 matches. In fact, he should have had his 9th in 9 when he fluffed near the end. Palace did hit the bar through Jermaine Easter. Middlesbrough finished with 10 men after Joe Bennett got sent off, bewitched by the trickery of the Palace substitute Wilfred Zaha. And there's an early chance for Palace to try to put the record straight because this is their first home defeat of the season, because on Tuesday night they play Middlesbrough in the Carling Cup.
Don't things always work out that way. Let's go to the KC Stadium now. Hull, they didn't hang on for 3 points. According to Steve Sutton, they deserved it. They outclassed Portsmouth.
Yes, they did. 3 successive 1-0 wins for a Hull side growing in confidence. They scored from a Robert Corran pile driver early in the first half, but held the lead comfortably for the remaining 80 minutes or so. Portsmouth still without a win away from home. Their plight not helped when Luke Varley was red-carded for a foul on James Chester. Hull 1, Portsmouth 0.
It's all over at the Liberty Stadium. It's been an emotional week in the Swansea Valleys. And Brendan Rodgers too, of course, lost his father last week. Well, today they've got a big win. Mark Webber.
Indeed, Swansea City 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. There'll be smiling faces around Swansea tonight at this result, but it will be tempered by Neil Taylor being stretched off midway through the second half with an oxygen mask after an intense clash with West Brom's Peter Odemyingi, causing 9 minutes of added time. Scott Sinclair got the opener, Leroy Lita got the second, Nathan Dyer got the third just after the second half started. West Brom did battle, denied by 2 great saves, but it's Swansea's day today. Swansea City 3, West Bromwich Albion 0.
And it looks like Everton have done enough to secure all the points at Goodison Park. Another goal probably on the stroke of the final whistle. Damien Johnson.
Yes, it's gone to Royston Drenthe, the loanee man from Real Madrid. It was a nod on. It's kind of Route 1 goal, really. Nodded on. I think it was from the previous goal scorer, Velios. There was Drenthe, who raced clear. He's got bags of pace, and he fired past Al Habsi. It's Everton 3, Wigan 1.
Obviously playing a lot of injury time there at Goodison Park, but that looks like 3 points for Everton, a big win for them.
Huge win, yeah. I mean, they've had problems, particularly up front as well, Everton this season. You know, Beckford was sold, Yakubu went to Blackburn and scored 2. Not even on the bench today, and I think he's tweeted his annoyance at that. So today was a huge win, and I think they probably deserved it on the balance of play.
Yeah, without doubt. I think the finish by Drenthe was fantastic. He reminded me of Daniel Amikachi. Do you remember him? Mm-hmm. He burst through, really thick set, but really emphatic with his finish. It looks like it's a good find by David Moyes. But they made hard work of it, Everton. It wasn't an easy win. For an hour, they really had to work very hard.
2 subs actually made it different. You know, Drente's obviously come on and scored, and Velios as well, who scored the second goal. With a great header. I think it was he who flicked the ball on for Drente's goal as well. So those two, the subs actually made a big difference as well.
OK, full-time whistle has blown at London Road. Mark Bishop's been watching.
Peterborough 2, Burnley 1, final score. Former Forest striker Emile Sinclair, the toast of Peterborough tonight. 2 fine individual goals. He could easily have had a hat-trick. Terrific saves from the substitute keeper Lee Grant, keeping him at bay. Tracy got one back for the visitors, still without a clean sheet since March the 8th. Peterborough 2, Burnley 1.
And the Majewski Reading took the spoils. Tony Husband.
Yes, and leaving Doncaster rock bottom. They're 6 defeat in 7 now. 2 second-half goals doing it for Reading. Simon Church handed an open goal by Neil Sullivan to get the opener. Adam Lafondra's first goal for Reading sealed it. Could have been more.
We're still waiting for the final whistle at Goodison Park, and it has blown. Damien is there for us, and it's a win for Everton.
Yes, they came from behind to claim all 3 points. Wigan led through Franco Di Santo's 3rd goal of the season. Everton equalised. Phil Jagielka heading in after Cahill hit the bar. Second half was poor, but Apostolos Velios rose late on to head in Hibbert's cross. Wigan almost had an equaliser. Jones lobbed against the bar. Further bad news for Wigan. Hugo Rodallega stretchered off, and then Drenthe with a third to make it safe. 3-1.
Let's get the full classified results now with Tim Gudgin.
First, the Barclays Premier League. Aston Villa 1, Newcastle United 1. Blackburn Rovers 4, Arsenal 3. Bolton Wanderers 1, Norwich City 2. Everton 3, Wigan Athletic 1. Swansea City 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. Wolves 0, QPR 3. In the Empire Championship, Barnsley 1, Watford 1. Blackpool 1, Cardiff City 1. Crystal Palace 0, Middlesbrough 1. Hull City 1, Portsmouth 0. Leeds United 2, Bristol City 1. Leicester City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Millwall 0, West Ham United 0. Nottingham Forest 1, Derby County 2. Peterborough United 2, Burnley 1. And Reading 2, Doncaster Rovers 0. In League 1, Brentford 1, Preston North End 3. Chesterfield 4, Carlisle United 1. Exeter City 0, AFC Bournemouth 2. Hartlepool United 3, Bury 0. Leyton Orient 1, Oldham Athletic 3. Milton Keynes Dons 1, Huddersfield Town 1. Rochdale 2, Charlton Athletic 3. Sheffield United 3, Colchester United 0. Stevenage 0, Notts County 2. Tranmere Rovers 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Walsall 2, Scunthorpe United 2. And Yeovil Town 2, Sheffield Wednesday 3. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Crewe Alexandra 2. AFC Wimbledon 4, Cheltenham Town 1. Barnet 0, Oxford United 2. Bristol Rovers 0, Aldershot Town 1. Burton Albion 2, Swindon Town 0. Crawley Town 3, Bradford City 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Morecambe 2. Hereford United 1, Gillingham 6. Macclesfield Town 3, Northampton Town 1. Port Vale 2, Shrewsbury Town 3. Southend United 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. And Torquay United 3, Rotherham United 3. In the Blue Square Premier, AFC Telford United 2, Bath City 1. Barrow 2, Mansfield Town 3. Braintree Town 1, Newport County 0. Darlington 1, Hayes and Yedding United 1. Ebbsfleet United 1, Fleetwood Town 3. Forest Green Rovers 2, Southport 3. Gateshead 1, Cambridge United 1. Kettering Town 0, Tamworth 2. Kidderminster 3, Alfreton Town 1. Luton 1, Lincoln City 0. Stockport County 2, Grimsby Town 0. And Wrexham 0, York City 3. In the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 2, Kilmarnock 2. Dundee United 3, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1. Dunfermline 2, Hibernian 2. Hearts 2, St Mirren 0. And Motherwell 0, St Johnstone 3. In the Arnbury Scottish Division 1, Falkirk 2, Dundee 1. Hamilton Academical 2, Wraith Rovers 2. Partick Thistle 4, Ayr United 0. Queen of the South 4, Greenock Morton 1. Ross County 1, Livingston 1. In Scottish Div 2, Albion Rovers 1, Stenhousemuir 1. Arbroath 3, Airdrie United 1. Dumbarton 0, Cowdenbeath 4. East Fife 1, Brechin City 1. Stirling Albion 2, Forfar Athletic 4. And Scottish Div 3, Berwick Rangers 2, Peterhead 1. East Stirlingshire 1, Stranraer 3. Elgin City 0, Clyde 3. Montrose 2, Allen Athletic 3. And Queen's Park 1, Alloa Athletic 3. In the Welsh Premier, Carmarthen Town 1, Bangor City 2. Latest score Newtown 0, Neath 2. And the New Saints 3, Avonlido 0. The Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 1, Coleraine 5. Crusaders 2, Cliftonville 2. Donegal Celtic 2, Lisbon Distillery 2. Dungannon Swifts 1, Glenavon 1. Glentoran 6, Carrick 1. And Portadown 2, Linfield 0.
So let's have a look at the tables then. Manchester United and Man City and Chelsea didn't play today but still occupy the top 3 spots in the Premier League. Newcastle stay 4th after their draw at Aston Villa. Stoke and Liverpool both play tomorrow. At the bottom, Blackburn Rovers and Swansea occupied the bottom 2 spots this morning but both gained first wins of the season and move up the table. West Brom slip into the bottom 3. Fulham and Sunderland prop up the table tonight but they can remedy that in their games tomorrow. In the Championship, Middlesbrough are the new leaders following victory at Crystal Palace, a club record straight 6th away win. Previous leaders Brighton slipped to 2nd after a first league defeat at much fancied Leicester. However, Southampton can overtake them both if they can overcome Birmingham at home tomorrow. At the bottom, Doncaster Rovers lost to fellow strugglers Reading. They're now 4 points adrift at the foot of the table. Nottingham Forest were also beaten. They slip into the bottom 3 alongside Bristol City. Coventry travel to Ipswich on Monday night. In League One, Charlton and Sheffield United both won today and keep up the pace at the top of League One. Huddersfield drew with MK Dons. They stay 3rd and 4th respectively. At the bottom, Leyton Orient lost today. They stay marooned at the bottom of the table. Exeter and Wycombe also both lost, while Scunthorpe grabbed a late point. To League Two, Morecambe have opened up a 2-point gap at the top of the table after their 6th victory of the season. Second place, Rotherham lost ground after they drew 3-3 at Plainmoor. Shrewsbury move into 3rd place after their 3-2 win over Port Vale in the lunchtime kick-off. At the bottom, Plymouth's 8 successive defeat leaves them stranded at the foot of the Football League. Argyle's only consolation is that Hereford and Bradford both lost as well. And the Blue Square Premier Gateshead are the new leaders, despite only drawing today. That's because Wrexham, who were top this morning, suffered a heavy defeat at home to York. Luton move up to 2nd. At the bottom, Bath are still without a win. They lost at Telford and they're stuck at the bottom of the table. And to the SPL. The top 2, Rangers and Celtic, meet in the Old Firm at Ibrox tomorrow lunchtime. Motherwell did have the chance to make up some ground, but they lost at home St Johnstone. At the bottom, Hibs earned a point at Dunfermline. That means they move off the bottom. Inverness now prop up the table after their defeat at Dundee United. Well, you can see the story of the day in the Premier League on Match of the Day with Mr Lineker, Mr Shearer and Mr Lawrenson at 10:30 on BBC One. Then Manish has the Football League covered for you at 10 to midnight. Plenty to see there. And tomorrow, Colin Murray will have a sterling lineup. Manchester United, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, Fulham against Manchester City and Sunderland against Stoke. Thank you very much for your company this afternoon, guys. Stay with us on the Red Button. Plenty of reaction from managers on the Red Button in just a moment. So stay with us if you can. If not, have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Hope your team won. See you next time. Bye-bye.